Hello, and welcome to Inclusive City 2020 and to the Madam Walker Legacy Center. I'm Tamara Winfrey Harris, Vice President of Community Leadership and Effective Philanthropy at Central Indiana Community Foundation. Thank you for joining us. When we first began planning this event earlier this year, our intention was to fill this beautiful theater with members of our community. Instead, the seats are mostly empty, and the only folks here are those presenting and making all of this come together for you. We are taking every precaution today, and you will likely spot our team sanitizing podiums and microphones between each speaker throughout our program. Thank you for your flexibility and understanding as we continue to adapt to the changing world we've found ourselves in this year. And when we gathered at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in April 2019, we shared our vision of a Central Indiana community that empowers people and in which the structures of systemic racism have been dismantled. We promise to work together to make our city and our region a healthy, thriving place that includes everyone, no matter place, race, or identity. A more equitable community, and all the better for it. Today, we're going to reflect on that promise and look at what we've done in the past year and a half to keep it, and also how the challenges of 2020 have impacted our work and how we've responded to those challenges. We're going to take a hard look at power, who has it, who doesn't, and what we're doing and have already done to share the power more equitably. We're going to look at what we've already done and map out the many steps that we'll take next. And last, but not least, we hope to inspire you. Inspire you to reflect, inspire you to look hard at your role in this community, and inspire you to act. We're confident that you will, and that's why I'm so excited to get started. But before we do, we want to say a little bit about our host, the Madam Walker Legacy Center, and its important place in the story of our city, past, present, and future. It's true, Madam C.J. Walker was one of the foremost Black businesswomen of the 20th century, and she is a role model to millions for that fact alone. Madam Walker was also a philanthropist and a voice for civil rights in our community, helping to advance organizations such as Flanner House, the Bethel AME Church, the Senate Avenue YMCA, and the Legacy Center itself. In a very real sense, Madam Walker's contribution is as vital today as ever. What is also true is that many of those contributions, among those of many other Black residents, are much harder to see today along Indiana Avenue and throughout our community. This neighborhood was once home to a bustling economy made up of Black-owned businesses and supported by Black residents. But so much of that was destroyed to make room for the highways and the expansion of a growing university. Here to share a little of the history of this neighborhood and the woman who helped make it are Nassar Peydar, Chancellor of Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, and A'Lelia Bundles, writer, journalist, and biographer, and great-great-granddaughter of Madam C.J. Walker.
Hello, my name is Nassar Peydar, and I serve as Chancellor of IUPUI in downtown Indianapolis. I appreciate the opportunity to participate in this important event in the life of our city and would like to thank Brian Payne and the team at CICF for all that they are doing to combat systematic racism and to create equitable opportunity for all. This past summer was a season of heartache. Many of us have struggled with the COVID-19 pandemic, stealing the lives of friends and loved ones. At the same time, the pandemic of racism continues to take its own tragic toll. Scientists are working around the clock and around the globe to come up with a vaccine for COVID-19. But it will take more than a simple vaccine to cure the pandemic of racism. It will take empathy, mutual understanding, and education. At IUPI, we are committed to providing that education because we count diversity and inclusion among our strongest and most lasting commitments. Our history as a campus reinforces the need for this commitment, and it is important that we acknowledge those who once lived on the land our campus now occupies. Founded in 1969, IUPI stands on the historic homeland of the Miami people, but also displaced a vibrant Black community. In addition, city leaders made decisions that displaced Black neighborhoods to clear land for state government buildings and the I-65, I-70 expansion. These decisions are still having an impact. I would like to recognize the sacrifices of the tribes that once lived and thrived here. The Miami people, the Potawatomi people, the Shawnee people, and others who were forced through these lands. I would also like to acknowledge with gratitude and respect the Black residents of this neighborhood who once thrived here. As the present stewards of the land they surrendered, we honor them as we live, work, and study at IUPI. We continue to express our thanks and honor in the ongoing work we are doing to combat systematic racism. Over the course of years, we have launched initiatives that strengthen diversity and inclusion on our campus, including implicit bias training, mentoring programs, and the White Racial Literacy Project, which includes readings, expert lectures, and dialogue exclusively for white people. This summer, we formed the Action Committee to confront systematic racism and to formalize our long-standing commitment to such initiatives that cultivate social justice and equity. We continue to build on these initiatives as we build towards a better future. The best way for us to express our commitment to that future is to continue putting our money where our mouth is. With that in mind, on behalf of IUPI, I'm proud to announce the very first scholarship program exclusively benefiting the descendants of those whose homes were lost as the campus expanded. As an institution, we bear responsibility for this history. We'll continue to do all that we can to join hands with the community and open doors of opportunity to higher education. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chancellor Paydar. I appreciate the chance to share this moment of aspiration and commitment with you, Brian Payne, and CICF as we embrace our mutual desire for community healing and collaboration. As Madam C.J. Walker's great-great-granddaughter and biographer, and as the descendant of African Americans who settled in the Indiana Avenue neighborhood even before Madam Walker's arrival in 1910, I honor the ancestors and express my hopes for future generations, especially as we navigate the pandemic and the urgency of racial reckoning. It is significant that you, on behalf of IUPUI, have acknowledged the Black residents who lived, worshiped, socialized, and shopped along these blocks. It is fitting that you have reminded us of the Miami and other indigenous people on whose ancestral lands Indianapolis and IUPUI now sit. Today's announcement of a scholarship program to benefit the descendants of people whose homes were lost to IUPUI expansion is a generous gesture toward reconciliation. Madam Walker also provided academic scholarships because she understood that access to education led to the kind of financial security that fostered home ownership and business investment in ways that built equity for generational wealth. As James Baldwin said, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. As a great urban university, IUPUI can bring intellectual and scholarly inquiry to a complex matter and establish the kind of multidisciplinary curriculum proposed by the IUPUI Action Committee. As other institutions have examined their legacies of slavery, IUPUI can interrogate how it benefited from the legacy of racial discrimination that is embedded in federal housing policies, banking practices, and local government initiatives like UNIGOV and the 1958 Indianapolis Redevelopment Commission. But this goes beyond IUPUI and the Walker Center to consider a truly comprehensive master plan for the Indiana Avenue area. IUPUI should not be expected to go it alone because IUPUI did not create the situation alone. The transformation our community needs will require the cooperation and support of multiple stakeholders from city and state government, as well as from the private sector and among community and nonprofit organizations. As the Madam Walker Legacy Center begins its new phase, and as the development of 719 Indiana Avenue is sorted out, I can't help but think about the IU parking lot on the south side of the avenue. If I allow myself to dream this afternoon, I can imagine that section of asphalt becoming the kind of welcoming space set forth in a visionary cultural trail proposal 15 years ago. I know I'm not the only one who has these dreams, and it really is not a major leap because for the most recent IUPUI master plan calls for mixed-use development for that part of campus. Today, we acknowledge that the loss is deep, that the anger has festered, that the damage is multi-generational. It will take time to build trust, but we all must muster the courage and fortitude to do the reparative work and draw upon the openness of spirit required to heal and to build. It is imperative that we resist the naysayers who lack vision and will. We must collaborate and restore. We must find a way forward together. Thank you very much.
Thanks to Nasser Paydar and Alilia Bundles for setting the stage. As we reflect on last year's Inclusive City event and lay out the road ahead, please welcome Indianapolis City County Council President Vop Osili.